Hello, everybody. How's it going? We're going to have a little chat today. What are we going to chat about? Well, it's definitely not my dinosaur pajamas. Oh, we're not talking about that. I'm trying to be warm. We're getting a snowstorm. Screw it. I'm not going anywhere. So, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about Dave Mustaine. Most of you probably don't know who that is. Lead singer from Megadeth. I'm still going to guess that at least half my list probably doesn't even know who Megadeth is because, mostly my family don't listen to that kind of stuff. Nobody I know listens to that kind of stuff, really. Anyways, the history of Dave Mustaine and Megadeth is he came from Metallica, he got kicked out of Metallica, and his whole career, what he does is he just complains about getting kicked out of Metallica. Big sad. Because he's only the second most successful heavy metal band of all time, behind Metallica. And he says he doesn't care, and he says he's over it, but he brings it up every chance he gets. Talks about how Lars really isn't that good of a drummer, and Kirk Hammett, the guitar player, he's good for what he does, but of course Dave Mustaine is better. And he never misses an opportunity to talk about all the Metallica songs that he wrote, which he did write quite a few of them, the early ones anyways, but he just always brings it up even though he really doesn't care. So, why am I talking about this today? Well, Megadeth came out with their last album ever, and it dropped today. And it's been 40 years, and most of their albums, well, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of their albums are pretty dang good. And they're second only to Metallica, like I said. He's had a couple of chances where he thought he was going to come out with this badass album and do really, really good, but nope, Metallica dropped an album at the same time, and his just didn't sell quite as good as Metallica's does. So, his whole career, he's been looking up Metallica and thinking to himself, hey, that was supposed to be me. So, I get it a little bit, but again, this is the kind of the point where he's always like, oh, I'm over it. But he's not, obviously. So, bonus track on the last album. So think about this. The last album he's ever going to come out with, the last song on his last album is a cover of a Metallica song that he helped write. But he only wrote one riff for the whole thing. It's Ride the Lightning. It was off of the album Ride the Lightning. It was Metallica's second album. So he decides he's going to cover it. And he was like, it's just my own little take on it. Okay, so I was expecting something different. I was looking forward to hearing it. See what Dave Mustaine can do with this song. See how he shreds it up a little bit. Because he can shred. He's pretty good. But all that talk about how Kirk Hammett just really isn't as good as him, and Lars Ulrich is just a mediocre drummer. And I'm listening to this song, and it's kind of the same. It's the same, almost chord for chord, of what Metallica already wrote. There was none of his own flair on it. He didn't make it his own, like he said. It really just kind of sounded like the Metallica version, with a few exceptions. And what were those few exceptions? The flair, the extras, like the drum fills and the guitar work. And for all this talk about being a better guitar player than Kirk Hammett when it came to the solos, I expected him to play him faster, because he always said he could play faster than Kirk Hammett, but he didn't even do that. The song was, if anything, I think it might have been a little bit slower. And a lot of the guitar licks for the rhythm riffs were missing some of the fills and some of the chops, and it wasn't as quick. It was kind of more like dun 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 instead of dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? And the same thing with the drums. Some of the fills weren't there, and it was in some of the faster parts. It was just kind of like instead of like the rolls and the roll offs, and I don't even know what to call them because I don't play drums, so I don't know what to call all this stuff. But it's just like, I really figured after 40 years of dissing Metallica every chance you get and their talent that he would come out with this to show them up and be like, hey, this is what I could have done with that song if I was part of your group. But no, he didn't. And it's like, well, why did you even bother coming out with that song then? Because it's a second-rate version, and it really just kind of cements it to me that he's just a second-rate metal guy. But the thing is, when he does shred, there are a lot of songs where he's better than Kirk Hammett. It's just the way it is. He's a really good shredder. I was really expecting more from it. Listen to it. I'm like, what do we get out of this? What was the point? just to pay homage to them, or like because after 40 years you still can't get it out of your head that you weren't on that album? I don't know, man. It was kind of disappointing. Ride the Lightning by Megadeth. It was a cover of a song that already came out and was already awesome, and it wasn't quite as awesome. And if you're going to talk that kind of shit, like he used to talk about Metallica, you really missed your chance to show the world what you could have done with that song. Sorry, but it's true. It just wasn't that impressive. The rest of the album is For a last album, I expected a lot more. But, I mean, in his later years, he's just been kind of coming out with cookie cutter metal anyways. He kind of picked quantity over quality. He's been coming out with albums every 1 or 2 years, where Metallica has slowed down a lot and not come out with that many. It takes them like 5 or 6 years to come out with an album, but the Megadeth stuff is just kind of like cookie cutter, and that's what it's become. There's been a few really good songs in there that I like, but whatever, man. If you're going to talk crap about Metallica like that, and how he even said that some of their earlier albums, they had to be slowed down after he left, and he said it's because Lars couldn't play that fast. Well, but he played that fast when you were there, so what's your point? And then he comes out with this song, and it's at least as fast, but maybe even a little bit slower. Like he didn't even pick it up. It's like, so your drummer couldn't handle it either? What? Anyways, that's just what I'm thinking about today. And cool thing is I'm getting that album on vinyl, and it's going to be an autographed copy, so that'll be cool. And I'll still listen to it, but it's just, dude seriously missed his chance to show and outshine what could have been. That's all. Toodaloo, everybody. You all stay warm, because most everybody I know is getting hit with snow at some point this weekend. Actually, I would probably say everybody on my friend list, with the exception of maybe like 2 people in Florida, jerks, are probably getting hit with the snow at some point this weekend. So you all be safe, stay warm. Love you all. Ciao.